Hey. How come you don't have a Mac, bro?
I do.
Oh, that's a Mac? What year, though?
With GarageBand open.
Fuck you. That's like a fucking 87, dude.
All these.
Looks like you're keeping your body pretty tight.
Two mics, one comp. Let's fuck.
The microphone's plugged in, and we need to, as I've already said, we're also going to make sure that drift correction is selected on these. I won't get into the technical specs.
Make this just for me, nobody else.
Fuck everybody. What's up, dude? Hey, baby.
The other microphone that I have here.
Hell yeah, dude.
What? You got it?
Yeah.
Now we.
Why can't I hear it now?
This is right. Oh, nice catch, dude. Save the freedom eagle from certain death, dude. We are the best fucking amateurs ever, dude. Just fuck that thing. Throw that thing, let it fly, dude. Let it go. If you love something, you'll set it free.
Set it free?
Yeah. What's in your cup, buddy?
All right, so anyways.
Don't worry about the light, dude. You just got
All right.
the audio figured out. Don't worry about the light, dude.
It's been a nightmare. If you guys only knew how fucking annoying this is. I'm not tech savvy. I've been watching nothing but YouTube videos trying to get this going. I don't know why it's so hard for me. It seems so easy for everybody else. But, yeah. It's just not been easy. Really fucking pissing me off, dude. If we're being honest. I don't even know how this is going to sound, to be honest with you. But
We're good, dude.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about? I know what I want to talk about. Hey, you teased something. You teased something in the last episode, dude.
What?
You were like, "Oh, I got a hot take, man.
Hot take?
I don't want anyone to steal it." You were telling us.
Oh. Yeah, well, we're not ready for that, though.
Oh, but it's not a take. I thought it was a take. That's not a take. That's something else.
Dude, what is it about putting the camera on that fucks everything up?
Nothing. There's nothing wrong, dude.
Dude, I can't. This eagle's pissing me off. I'm still trying to calm down. We were supposed to start filming an hour ago. I got to leave in like
amazing.
45 minutes.
This is amazing,
No,
dude.
Yeah, like 45 minutes I got to leave, tops. And we're trying to squeeze this in. It's not. It's just, dude, I need a woosah.
Woosah, do it. There you go.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, a lot of stuff, dude. But I mainly wanted to touch on this whole Monarch and Ultramel debate. But I guess in response to what I've been hearing a lot lately is Ultramel people have been like basically insinuating that, well, the only difference that I see is the money. And I think that's such a short-sighted view on.
Do you want to name names or no?
No.
Okay. You know who you are.
You know who you are. No, I don't. No, it's not even about names because it's it's a lot of people too. I mean, it's not just one or two people. It seems like it's the majority of what I've been hearing lately, and I feel like there's that opinion is not nuanced enough to really touch like, well, why is the value there in the first place? And to them, I would say, how come nobody talks about the aspect of, maybe we like Monarch so much because it's so untapped and it's got so much to do with it. And I mean, potentially making world firsts and just getting a head start into a project, there's a lot of things that go into play with why I chose Monarch, besides the fact that it looks way better. But I mean, that's a different conversation.
I don't think it's that serious.
I don't either.
I don't know why. Like, this is the thing. Like, I know why I like stuff. I know why, and that's really all that matters. I know why I like stuff. I don't really care. I care if somebody likes it because I want to sell it. But I don't really care because I feel like every project has its people that dislike it, or for one reason or another, whether they don't like what it does, or they don't like the cost, or they don't like the fact they don't have it, or they're just fucking hating. I don't know what it is. But I think there's validity to a lot of the reasons why people don't like certain things. My only thing is, like, I'm not going to sit here and try and convince people otherwise. There is a there's definitely like a way to voice your opinions on why you like it, but I think having a debate in the sense that like there's going to be a winner, I think it's tough to do that because it's preference. It's like arguing, like I don't know, faith or something. Like you can have good valid points and the other side can't too, and it doesn't mean you're going to like the project any more or any less. And I think that on top of that, like you were kind of alluding to, like Monarch's more untapped in my opinion, but I mean they're both pretty freaking untapped.
Yeah, but let's be real. Ultramel is
more tapped.
way more. I mean, obviously,
More
like
tappage.
when you like, I mean, comparing it to something like Clown or Pied or even Hypo, like there's so many things going on with those. I mean, maybe Ultramel's not on the level of Clown, but if you compared Monarch to Ultramel, it's Ultramel is light years ahead of.
Okay, let's talk about Monarch. Why you. Okay, give me 2 reasons why you like Monarch over Ultramel.
Whoa, watch your mouth, dude. Don't ever talk to me like that again, dude. This shit will be over real quick. I'll leave.
You have both.
I'll leave, bro. I will leave. No, I had both.
You pawned the fucking Ultramel off to me?
Yeah, I was like, dude, what the hell do I have this shitty project for? No, I like them both. That's the funny thing, too. I guess when you were alluding to, like, who cares? Like, you don't care. Yeah, I mean, a part of me is just kind of like, man, I just really wish there was no controversy or hating or any of that stuff. Like, I'll clown on jeans all the time, dude. And other than Pastel, I'm clowning. I'm being funny, but, it's nothing I don't even really hate Pastel. I just hate it in my snakes.
You hate it in every project?
No, I don't hate it. That's what I'm saying. I don't really hate anything.
Okay, so
I'm clowning, bro. That's what I'm saying. But, like, I feel like there's some real – I hear it sometimes in people, and I don't know what it is. And I think a lot of people I don't know. I think envy is a strong word, but I think that a lot of this issue back and forth really boils down to people feel Ultramel should be, or Monarch and Ultramel should be closer in value.
So this is my question. Obviously, you were on that debate on Antoine's show, and one side was saying Monarch was better, one side was saying Ultramel was better. My thing is like the side that's saying Ultramel is better seems to be a lot more. You're not gonna like this when I say this.
I don't care what you say. Oh wait, you were talking?
I equate the hate on Monarch from the Ultramel people to the hate on iPhones by the Samsung people, the Android people.
Whoa, that's weird. That's
because
like
let me tell you,
I think the exact opposite. Well,
it's
weird. Almost like it's an
opinion,
opinion,
something
dude.
to you.
Wow,
Let me explain it.
You're a smart guy, dude.
So, dude, the people that have Ultramel that hate on Monarch, I feel much more passionately about it than the people that have Monarch that hate on Ultramel. I also feel the same way that people that have iPhones just get the go to the people with Androids, whereas the people with Androids legitimately get fucking irritated by iPhone users.
I'll accept your opinion and give
valid.
you credence when you take your Samsung camera out of your iPhone.
Okay, now we're talking tech.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You're
I forgot. You're not good at tech.
Like you know how the thing's built by the Chinese boys.
Hey, Troy told me, dude, and Troy is the gospel when it comes to that shit.
Well, he has both.
Troy's knows that shit.
So that's how I feel. So I feel like my question is, that being said, and that's my opinion, but why so much irritation and vitriol from the Ultramel people towards Monarch, whereas conversely, I don't feel that it's as passionate from the Monarch people. Yeah. I'll tell you what I think. I think it's the price.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was.
I think that's all it is.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. Is like, and it's funny because it's like I said, like I feel like Monarch people clown on Ultramel, like they joke, like they play into the gimmick of it all, but there's like a real like oh fuck no kind of attitude from the Ultramel people.
Yeah, because
to the Monarch,
you don't see that. Like, let's say you have a totally different clown combo. Like somebody produces one, somebody produces. You don't see that headbutting. You don't see that hate. Yeah. Like, oh, this is better. So people that like Ultramel so much and that want to debate it, or vice versa, like Monarch, or the people that are really passionate about it. My thing is like, why you care so much if somebody's into Monarch? I mean, I'd be happy. Like, I kind of like the fact that not a ton of people are in Sunset.
Yeah,
because I love the project, and there's a ton of people. Sunset gets way more hate than Monarch does. So,
oh yeah, Monarch doesn't even really get hate. It's more like you were saying, like the money thing. Like,
yeah, but if you ask somebody who's super passionate about Ultramel
they'll say, yeah,
to say, it's just the money. They'll be, no, it's not. So ultimately what you're saying is you're trying really hard to get somebody to think that something looks as good as you think it does, which is super gay, if that's your reason. Like, that's fucking retarded. But I understand the irritation when the project you really love and that you think has a higher value than another one, similar project, I guess, has a much higher price tag. So for them to say it's anything other than that, I'd love to hear that.
Well, I think that what adds to all this is the history of for a long time, and even I just saw a post that Antoine had posted in one of our groups. Like, there's still people out there pushing the whole Ultramel and Monarch are the same thing, and you can breed them together. And if you breed, and I think that kind of set up the climate that we're in with it now. You know, where it was like for a long time, it was just like a lot of Ultramel people were saying, "Oh, Monarch is just Ultramel rebranded." So I think that's kind of probably where like a lot of the negative feelings towards it came from, you know? Right, and that's what they're saying is like, oh, you're just ripping people off by selling them rebranded Ultramel for 10 times the amount. And I think that was when I first bought Monarch, it was not maybe, I think it was coming towards the end of that era of that, you know, questioning that. But I remember people saying, and when I first got into it, like, you know, it could be the same as Ultramel. So that was something that I kind of like had to like, you know, just hope. You know, with shed testing now, it's a whole nother realm. But at that time, it didn't exist, and it was like there was all these rumors. And with the way genes are in this industry, it's like there is no like registry, there is no like legit like, you know, people just name shit and breed it and sell it as it. And
yeah, but the big thing too, and it comes back to like any product or service, like the market sets the value. So, of course. So if like I could put, there's people that we both know very well, or not know them very well. I can't talk right now, but there's people out there that'll put a ridiculously high price tag on a project that nobody's going to pay it. So I really don't care what you listed for. If nobody's buying it, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So the fact that Monarch has a higher market value and people are actually paying it is the frustration, I think, for Ultramel people, and I don't want to speak for them, but agree. That's just kind of how I feel. And if it is as bad as the Ultramel people say it is, then why are people still paying the price? Are they stupid? I don't think it's that. I think, like we said earlier, it's much more untapped. And for me personally, I have both. Not a lot of both, but I have both. And I'm more excited to work Monarch because the color palette lends itself to be a little bit more diverse, in my opinion. Like Monarch or Ultramel, there's no doubt that Ultramel is way brighter in a lot of combos. Like, I don't think, like, I would probably bet my life that Monarch Sunset is not going to be anywhere near as bright and vibrant as Ultramel Sunset.
I got that. I
don't think it's going to be as bright. It might be more contrasted. It might be cooler, but I'm saying just brightness alone. Like, the fact that Ultramel influences things to such like a neon level is rad. The reason, which is what I like about it, but it's also what I don't like about it, because it's like a ceiling, like we call it like a ceiling gene. Like, it seems like you can only go so high. It's like albino. Like, what more can you really do with it? Now, I'm sure there's more we can do with it, and we're not, you know, we're the last people to tell you what's done and what's not done. But in my opinion, based on the way I've seen Monarch work with certain things, I think, because I like the contrast, that I think it's something that can be explored a little bit more and more universal than Ultramel is, as far as we use with it. More of a utility player than Ultramel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is similar to like confirmation bias in politics. Like, so you have like this, your guy's always right kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you have it with the gene. So like,
it's tribal.
And you have these circumstances. Like, for a long time, it was like, I'm sure there were a lot of people that had Ultramel that were praying that it was Monarch was Ultramel, because then there wouldn't be that competitive gene and that, you know, the value difference and all that stuff. Well, when that kind of fell out, it's like you hold on to that, but you like move the goalpost to the next. And so now it's like, now they're you know, that we're starting to see stuff being made with Monarch and stuff. And it's like, you know, you kind of, it's hard for some people to just look at something and admire it. And that's not everybody. I mean, I know there's a lot of guys that are super Ultramel that think Monarch is cool. I mean, I don't know. I think the majority of them, the major gripe is the money. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the history and like the long-standing like situation with it and Ultramel and stuff, you can kind of get a picture of why we're at now.
Yeah.
It sort of makes sense, you know.
Yeah, but it's like people are they're tribal in the sense that they pick their side, and it's like they're not open for different thoughts or not open to be wrong. But like I said before, I don't think you can be wrong or right on this debate. No, I think it's just like it's kind of an annoying debate. It's like, well, who do you like more? It's like, well, I like this one more. Well, I like this one more. Okay, debate's over. What did we learn? That you like this one and you like this one? Like, I don't know. It's kind of pointless to me. You're not going to increase the value of either project.
It's definitely an opinion.
You're going to increase the value of the project with production. It's just like with anything else. Like, you're going to increase your value in the marketplace as a worker, or by bringing a product to the market. That's how you increase the value of it, by making it more desirable, making it better, making it, doing things that haven't been done before. So I think that's the only real true testament as to whether or not one, I don't even say is better, but is just more valuable than the other. It's based on what the market does. And if the market's doing that and people don't like it, well, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, you're never gonna find a Ford electric car that's better than a Tesla. I don't care how much you hate Elon Musk. That fucking car is way fucking better than any electric car out there. So it's just like, let the product speak for itself. Let the animals speak for themselves. I think that's the best way to decide that, or don't even decide it. I don't even care. Speaking of things I don't care about, stupid DGC-BAC test.
Yeah, you
didn't give a shit about that from day one.
He did. We talked about it a lot.
I could have been wrong, but my whole thing was like, it's been around long enough, and there's been enough like amazing breeders out there that have worked it enough to know. I feel like it just, maybe there's something to it, but I guess my thing was like, I'm not going to restructure my whole collection and sell things off and do this and that and the other based on the shed test, just because I didn't see enough evidence.
And they told us,
lo and behold,
they told us it had an 85% accuracy rating, so that alone should let you know that it's not accurate.
Yeah, that's far from foolproof.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was alluding to last episode. Are you done with the Monarch Ultramel thing?
Dude, I've been done.
Been done with that, dude.
Been done. Fucking. Yeah, I just want to say that Monarch is amazing.
Monarch is sick.
And people are allowed to be wrong.
I agree. And Sunset's amazing. And there's so many combos coming out. That gene gets more hate than any gene I can think of.
Wait, why?
Because they say it browns out.
Does it brown out?
Every gene browns out.
Well,
yes. And just like with every gene, there's quality.
To an extent, every gene. I wouldn't say every gene.
You don't think there's different varying qualities of every gene?
Varying, yes. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
Like some stuff would brown out more than other stuff.
Worse to better. Yeah. Okay, like
in general.
Right. Well, you have certain combos that are going to brown out more, but I'm talking just strictly. That's one I use all the time to compare it to. That's a super universal. That's probably like
what OD.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's probably the best codom, just because it does amazing things with everything. That's my opinion. I think it's the best codom.
But it browns out sometimes.
Yeah, and some
it's wild,
and some you can't even see the orange.
But
it's
you
just
don't see people
dark
talk
pattern.
about it like it a lot.
That's my point. Is like. Name a gene that doesn't brown out. Name a gene that doesn't get worse with time. I have an adult breeder Sunset. You can attest to it. I could show it. Like, does it look as good as when I got it? Absolutely not. But does it look brown?
It's not
Hell
brown at all.
no.
It looks like a Sunset, like what you would want from it.
Yeah. The baby was like electric. That's why I bought it. And I thought it had like yellow belly in it, but it doesn't. So it's just a Sunset, and it's a lot brighter than other Sunsets. You start mixing it, you start layering it, and start doing crazy stuff. I know Leviathan and Change has produced that. I don't know what it is. It's like, maybe it's a Calico fire. It's something that's that Falcon fire they call it. That thing's sick. I only saw that one small picture. I didn't see a real good.
What was it?
It's something. They didn't list it. But it's a joint project between them. Leviathan's had some crazy stuff. I mean, TJ Tofauti, he's got like Mandarin in it and triple head, some wild shit that we haven't even seen or I don't even know about. But like, there's crazy stuff that I guarantee is going to come out. I've seen some stuff that on paper it's badass, and then I see it, I'm like, yeesh, it's nasty. And I just think that there's varying qualities. And so let the animals speak for themselves. Like, I have adult breeder male that does not look much worse than when it was hatched. Actually looks a little bit brighter. Maybe not quite as contrast, but brighter. And, so I just think that it's ironic how all the genes that are really hated on are the more pricier genes.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Name a cheap gene that people are having a debate over.
Well, I think that's because it's the new, the how it being new.
It's not really new.
But like, I mean, there was controversies on these other genes, like, but maybe 15 years ago, you know?
Mandarin, another one.
Well, Mandarin's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother ball of wax.
Dude.
But
I would say like,
but that's an expensive. We can get into that too. But that's an expensive project.
yeah.
So,
But Mandarin I don't think Mandarin gets hated on for how it looks. I think Mandarin gets hated on because of the whole.
whether it's Mandarin or not.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm
that's
saying
like,
is,
and like, then that's I think does Mandarin a disservice because there's probably a lot of, I would say 50% of the Mandarin out there is probably not even Mandarin.
I would
And
agree.
people are like showing these Mandarins that aren't Mandarins.
And it drops the value of the project.
They don't even look good.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't want that fucking gene.
Yeah.
So, but you look at like TJ's or some other people's like,
Right.
It's
Real
like,
Mandarin, you
go
can
ahead and
it's
deny
definitely,
it.
yeah.
Say all you want.
Dumb.
That thing makes sick animals. But anyways, that's my thing. Is like I think that price dictates a lot of this debate, if not all of it, or not, majority of it, not all.
Well,
of it.
if you're okay, to that point, going back to the Monarch Ultramel debate, if you're going to say that the Monarch people are in it for the money, then I would say back to them, well, then you're an Ultramel because it's cheaper.
And you're
like,
bothered.
I mean, how is that any different of an analogy of the situation?
Well, two
Like,
things. One, you could look at it like that. You're in Ultramel because it's cheaper. Okay, fine. But now you're pissed off that it's not more expensive. So you are in it for the money because you want it to be more valuable.
Right.
So it's the same thing.
I mean, it's just that's what I'm saying. It's
People are not.
Dumb, dude.
That's to me. That's retarded to just do a project. How can you be creative with a project that you don't have any personal connection with, or you don't see having any potential? How, like, to be able to just buy into an expensive project and just start mixing it with shit and do well with that is a wild concept to me.
Is there any gene out right now that's new that you are thinking is going to be a bust? Like,
I don't like Monsoon,
yeah, I feel the same way.
but it has nothing to do with the price. Like
No.
nothing. I don't.
Yeah, I would have bought Monsoon was on my short list
Yeah.
when I was first getting in. It was pretty hot. Dave Green had some hets available. I think it was. I forget if he was only selling males or if he was only selling females. I think it was females, but
Probably females.
yeah. So like it was very pricey just to get like a het animal. But I went a different direction. But yeah, like knowing what I know now, I'm glad I didn't.
Well,
I'm not super stoked on it so far. I haven't seen anything.
It's the same thing.
Mind-blowing.
It's the same thing. Why I like Ultramel more, but it's similar concept to that. It's like it's so fucking overpowering that I mean, I've seen some of the patterns slightly manipulated, but like I can't tell the difference between a Mojave Monsoon and a Monsoon. And I think that the only way you're going to be able to manipulate that is with color. And I think picturing an Ultramel Monsoon looks sick. Like that sounds badass. But I mean, what next? Then the clown. But I've seen the clowns. Doesn't it just take the pattern all the way or something? I don't know. Or was that strange?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with I think it was a Maury clown that I saw.
Yeah,
which is the same.
So, but that's also not one of those hills I'm going to die on because I don't see the value in it and I don't care for it too much and I don't feel like it's super universal doesn't mean it's not, and it doesn't mean it's not going to fetch a price. And good for people that make their money off of it. I hope that everyone does because that's what furthers the whole industry is everyone making their money off their investment. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I'm not going to, even if it was dirt cheap, I wouldn't care for it.
I'm not into it. And yeah, I think if you're going to work Monsoon, and I know a couple of people that are working Monsoon, and they're going in the direction of color.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to, and then you have to kind of like, that's going to be your move with it, and you can't have everything too. Like that's the thing here too is you have to pick and choose. You can't have every project. I mean, I'm sure Justin doesn't have every gene.
Yeah.
Like you can't, it's just, it's too much. What you need to hold back for projects, the amount of space you need for animals where you want to be like, in the groove with that project, you could have 3 racks full of animals for one project easily.
That's something I suck at too.
Well, that's why I got rid of my Ultramel project. I had I have a Monarch clown project, then I was going Ultramel hypo, and I had a grip of het females with multiple codoms, and I was like, man, I don't have the room. I need 3 times the space than what I have now. Like in a couple of years, if I keep moving both these projects the way I'm going, I'm not going to have room. So I had to kind of prioritize. And that's not to say that I don't like Ultramel. Obviously I do. I had it, but in the grand scheme of things, what I already had going and stuff, I had to make the tough choices. But yeah, I mean, you can't, even in making choices in jeans when you're, this or that, it's not like a fault. Like if you don't choose something, or it's like, if someone picked Monarch, it wasn't because, Ultramel shit,
Yeah.
I think that's the mindset of a lot of people too. It's like, man, it's more nuanced. It definitely, people need to kick back. They need to chill.
Kick back, people.
Chill. It's okay. Your Ultramels are beautiful. I love them.
Yeah.
I made some badass Ultramels. I have one.
Tell us about it.
I have one male left from that project that I produced. Just some cool cypress stuff and
No big deal.
Orange Dream, Yellow Belly.
Did you sell it all?
All of it, almost.
Fuck yeah.
I got one male left.
Hell yeah.
He's on
dude.
auction right now too, but by the time you watch this, he already won't be sold.
The auction will be over and he'll be relisted.
He'll still be,
so don't
but
worry.
he'll be available. So give me a call.
No
Hit
rush.
Me up. Hit me up in the DMs. We'll make a deal.
So kind of alluding to the thing that I was talking about before, I was just looking up on this board with our notes. I think it's a good idea to bring up kind of because just like setting up this whole podcast thing and trial and error my ass off, I hate that there's no like available content out there that just points to exactly what I need. So one of the things that I encountered with the snakes, especially in the beginning, and it took a while to kind of figure out, was like, how do you build your projects? And a lot of that has to do, it's something we're not going to talk about today, probably, we don't have time, but dip our toes into it.
Yeah.
But it's I think there's not enough. Also, it's super nuanced, just like the Ultramel Monarch debate. Like, everyone's going to have a different perspective on how to do it based on what they like and what they want to create. But there should be, I feel like, a general blueprint for trying to figure out how to, manage your collection or build it efficiently, especially when it comes to your financial situation. So I always equated it to, for any of you that play fantasy sports, like I play fantasy football for a long time, like a salary cap, like a draft. So, or just like any draft, maybe not fantasy, but you have a salary cap.
Like a salary cap to draft, like where you bid on players. Yeah,
what I just said.
You have a salary cap.
What I just said.
It's okay.
Calm
down, dude.
Yeah, we have enough echo on these fucking mics, dude.
What?
We need that.
What?
No, so how do you get the most bang for your buck? And the reason why I looked at it like a draft was that you're going to spend the bulk of your finances on certain studs, and whether it's a female or male depends. But you're also, by doing so, your budget's gonna wane, and so you're gonna have to figure out, how am I gonna? I have $1,000 left. How can I best utilize it? Or I have 2,000 or whatever it is, based on your kind of your lineup. And then it's not a bad idea to have some bench players. Fucking thing stopped recording again. All right. So what I was saying.
Wait till I sit down. You son of a bitch.
Nope. So I was just saying that I think that what I want to do is kind of we could put a board up here or something and do like a mock draft to where we're gonna take a certain project. Let's say DG Clown. You want to get into DG Clown, and you have $10,000 or $15,000. Doesn't really matter the amount. Not everybody's gonna have that, but when it gets down to the, I've got $3,000 left and I've only got 4 animals. What do I do? Or I think there's ways to get a lot of bang for your buck and a lot of value in your purchases. And that's definitely something I want to touch on going forward. And I'd like to dedicate something to that.
Yeah.
And our whole thing is not necessarily like we're going to have a topic for everything, but that is one of those shows where I do want to have a topic for and kind of, put a little thought into and maybe make it a little bit longer and maybe bring some other people in on it as well. And I think that if I'm watching it, then I could, even if it's not my project, I can kind of figure out, okay, where do I do the double hits? Where do I do the visuals?
Structuring, yeah.
Yeah. So, something to think about, something we'd like to do.
Touching on that too a little bit before we take off. Like,
because I got to get to work.
You should look at your projects. You shouldn't look at animals individually. You should look at it as like a collective being, and you're only as strong as the I don't know what the word is, but your male is going to be very important in what females you need, and vice versa. So like you've got to have a good makeup, a good project makeup, and there's ways of doing that. No matter what the project it is, you can focus and use that.
Well, it's nice to have let's say DG client. It's nice to have a double visual male, because then you're not having to struggle. You're not having to be so careful with your purchases with the females. You can just kind of go get a bunch of hets or double hets or visual hets. Yeah. And whereas if you have a het, double het male or a visual het male, then it's like, oh, well, this is going to be, the odds aren't going to be as good here and there and whatever.
Or you can always like get a visual that's het for the other gene in the male, and then get females that are the opposite.
True.
There's so many ways to structure it, but to get the best bang out of your buck, because it doesn't matter what the male and the female is. Like that little scenario I just presented is the exact same thing as having a double visual male and then a double het female.
Yeah.
You've just swapped the genes around a little bit. What can you do? What's the best way to allocate those funds to build those projects?
Yeah, we'll touch on that next time.
Yep.
And with that said, I got to go make fucking breadsticks, dude.
Free breadsticks, dude.
Nothing's free in this world.
Hey, if I come to Olive Garden, will you hook me up
I'll
with
throw
free
you
breadsticks
out.
and
Your pictures in
salad,
front of
dude?
the Olive Garden.
Is it?
Yeah, remember
Still?
that one time you took shit in the Olive
Fuck,
Garden?
dude. I thought they forgot about that. That's why I grew a beard, dude.
Hey,
I was trying to hide.
we'll talk later. Love you guys.
Bye.
Deuces.
We may need to make some outtakes, dude.
Yeah. That might not be this whole episode.
Yeah,
it might be,
definitely a bunch of shit we could chop out, too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like the whole thing.